Never heard of that place.
I don't know if it's still open.
Is that the one in Outer Harbor? River Harbor?
No. It's by the Ford plant. It's right in that area.
Okay.
One.
You ever been to that boathouse in Small Boat Harbor? Great food. Seasonal
Been
place.
there.
Right,
I
yeah, yeah.
haven't.
Yeah, we launch just past there in Bogarts, so like a lot of times when we're done fishing, we just, pull in a small boat, just park and then have lunch there. Yeah, great.
No more
cheap,
going to
too.
the Olympics for me.
It's very similar to like the Wilson boat.
But yeah, they have also said that.
Yeah, which is awesome. I
Um,
love going out. It's a nice ride. Just getting started. Getting close at least.
I have 6:29.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
We can start. We have a quorum.
Okay.
Testing, testing. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, it's 6:30.
All right,
Can you hear me?
Admit attendees to the waiting room. I mean, into the meeting.
All right, it's 6:30. Let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Can you please call the roll?
Yes. Sheasley.
Here.
Fisher.
Here.
Greg.
Here.
Boysenay.
Here.
Cook.
Here. All right, let's go through the agenda. All right, on the minutes. It's Greg.
I can say that.
Any questions or comments? Okay. On the bills. Okay, boys and nay? Any questions or comments?
I do.
Yeah.
Got a couple of bills I questioned with Adam.
Adam, can you come forward?
I understand he explained with the help of Sir Franzek, we had a bill of 2912 regards to cheerleading skirts and sweaters. They explained that we have a clinic that's paid more than that 2912, which I didn't know. And they only grab them every once, every 3 years-ish. Ballpark.
Depends on when they go out of stock. So this year, we unfortunately had to buy a whole set of uniforms. Normally, we just try to pick up 2 or 3 as they get turned in year over year. But the stock just got diminished so low, and then the jersey or uniforms rather to match the old stock are no longer available in appropriate sizes. I mean, there was like 3X's or 2X's, but there was no sizes that fit the.
Okay, then the hub. Was it when you paid the electric bill, the hub is $1731.90 for 1 month?
Is that a monthly or a quarterly? And that's probably just a demand charge too, because most of our electric through the consortium.
I can't tell by these slips.
Yeah, that's a monthly.
It's a monthly for the hub.
Yep, December 31st, January 30th.
Seems steep, but I am not telling you. Is that LED?
Gotta be the lights. I don't know if the heater's running over. I know the heater over there is electric. I don't know if that's running at all. The lights are on. Oh.
It could be a jump, right? Right, I think there's one more, Adam. You can have your stuff. There was, I don't know who, what, where. There were gift cards, holiday decorating contests, that was for the residents.
Yeah,
At $150.
lighting contest or one of the small contests, the rec.
Okay.
Fronts.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions?
Adam, I have a question for you on the bills. Remember last time we talked, we were discussing late fees and you said the way we're paying them?
Yeah.
Have we figured out an answer how to correct this problem?
After consulting with the attorney and myself, we're gonna come up with, in my mind, this is how I kind of thought about it, we're kind of open to your guys' thoughts. But basically like the idea of approved vendors list that I would be able to pay without, prior approval from council. I would still provide reports to indicate what bills were paid on that approved vendor list. But that was kind of my thought, would just have a list of vendors that would be basically pre-approved. And do it that way. So, like your grid, probably like, Spectrum, trying to think of Erie County Water. Just trying to think of some of the ones we had on the side.
Basically utilities.
Probably like the school district, because we cut them a check, basically just reimbursing for all the tax collect. County, same thing, we do the same process. But I had each of the ACTs send me a list of vendors they would like to see. I'm going to filtrate through that list, and then we should have a resolution for the next meeting to create this approved vendors list. Obviously, that's vendor list, and can add or add vendors if you choose. But that's kind of how I envisioned it working.
Perfect solution. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, next resolution is the overnight docking fee. Do we have questions on that?
Yeah, if you look at with water, electric, without water, commercial boats, water, electric 55, commercial boats is 60. I think that might have to be reversed the way it looks with the other. amend that.
So we have a motion on the floor by Councilman Sheasley to amend to read with electric and water 60.
Commercial 60.
Yep. Without electric and water, it's 55. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Voisin. Mr. Clerk, did you get those amendments?
Yes, the amendment is, switching the 60 through the 40 to electric and water, and the 55 to 45 schedule to without electric and water.
No.
Okay,
So it's going to read the overnight docking fee schedule for the Tonawanda Gateway Harbor docking facilities required by section 78-4 is as follows per night. With electric and water, commercial boats, $60. And then, Mr. Sheasley, are you saying with electric and water, 25 and under is 35? 26 to 40 is 40.
Right.
The rest is correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
got it.
Then without electric and water, commercial boats is 55. 25 and under is 30. 26 to 40 is 35. 41 and over is 40. And
Thank
then
you.
the rest is correct, right? Okay. So we have a motion to amend by Councilman Sheasley, seconded by Mr. Voisin. Can you please call the roll?
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Greg.
Aye.
Voisin,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye. All right, that resolution is amended. Any other?
These are line fence prices.
Yes.
Any other questions? Okay. Next resolution is a lease agreement with the city of Tonawanda to operate a seasonal restaurant facility in Niwanda Park. Any questions on this? Comments?
Yeah. So, like, if the water or anything is like exponentially high, then we have the right by the end of the year to adjust that then. So, I was reading.
After the first year, that way if any problems catch at either side, if anything
Yes.
comes up that we have a look to say, what adjustments do we need? Or opt out of it.
Or out the, yep, okay, we went with the 3 year instead of 5 year. I see. Sir. Is there any need for them to have a backup porta potty? Okay, so,
In case what happens?
I like our bathrooms went out or something, those are safe. For some reason, should they have one?
I don't,
I don't know, I'm starting to bring it up so late in the game, but I was just curious if that's something.
I mean, technically, he's a food truck, so he doesn't even need a bathroom.
Okay.
So the fact that the location that's there has the bathroom with the running water and the flushable toilet is just a convenience.
Convenience.
It's a convenience. But other than that, there's no requirement. Because this is going under a food truck.
Yeah,
This is not a permanent structure.
okay.
and we didn't want Johnny on spots there for the look of it. So
Yeah.
to have him do it in anticipation of something happening.
Yeah, I was
Wouldn't
saying
be-
like one.
And I'm not an expert in the porta potties, but what happened was like with Tonawanda Football Clinic,
Yeah.
when the city had an issue when they pulled the porta potties in October and they ended up going to the playoffs, when the city, Dave probably could talk more to it, but when he calls the porta potty company that we have the contract with, they can usually have a porta potty here the next day. So if those bathrooms went down hypothetically on a Friday, by Saturday morning, they would have porta potties here, whether who paid for it, how it worked out would be different, but they're usually within a 24-hour turnaround to get a porta potty on site in the city, because we do have a vendor.
Yeah, okay, all right.
When are we requiring them to provide us with a copy of the certificate of insurance?
Or they would start operation.
Okay, it's just not notated in this resolution. So theoretically, they could provide it in July.
Well, I'll make a motion to change it number 9 to present a insurance.
Well, you'd amend number 5.
Number 5, yeah.
Number 5, we're okay.
Yeah,
Insurance, right?
Well, Mark, did you take a look at these? Yeah, what do you think about number 5? Is there a problem?
Should it say
So-
prior to opening?
So they could provide a certificate of insurance.
Time they take the lease, which will supposedly be April 1st thing, they have to have
Okay.
a certificate in place.
Okay,
You
and,
can't lease the property without the certificate of insurance.
okay, and they're aware of that, obviously.
I'm aware.
Well, I know you are, but are they? Okay. I didn't have any other questions. Anybody else have any questions?
Just make sure it covers. Yes.
Anybody else have any other questions?
Does it harm people that? Or is it or lease?
Well, I mean, we all know, but they don't.
I mean, just.
No.
So Mark, when that lease comes up on April 1st, let's say, and the city enters into the agreement, you sign as part of that, right? Or is it the mayor?
No, the mayor.
Mayor does, but the mayor won't sign it unless that certificate of insurance is provided, correct?
Right.
So
Nobody's taken any possession or leasehold interest unless they have a certificate of insurance in place.
meeting the requirements of number 5.
Right.
Okay, I'm good with that.
No, I'm not, nobody's signing anything until I know there's a certificate of insurance.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else have any other questions on this resolution? Okay,
Is it, just one last thing, so technically, it's always kind of parcels.
Right, so we told them they had to be closed by 10, they
Okay.
couldn't stay open past that.
Okay.
Question, do we need something here about the, health permits or anything?
About the,
There.
I mean, that's a good thought. I would hope they have them.
I mean, I would, okay, right, but do we, they in there at all?
Or is there was. there-
I'll defer to the city attorney on that.
Sorry, I didn't hear it.
Applicable permits, health permits.
Health permits.
Do we have to add a number 9 regarding health permits, or they have
That's
to?
up to them. They have to supply those. That's not our liability.
But should we put it in there that they have to have them in place or anything?
Well, because initially when they take possession, they won't, because they'll be setting up, so. They know that it'll be in the, one of the things, sections of the lease will say, obviously all applicable health permits have to be in place at the time is. I didn't put every single little thing in here because a lot of them, it's their response. They're the ones that will incur the liability if they're out serving food. Because the lease is gonna have a hold harmless agreement in with regards to the city.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, resolution 5. This is relative to an application to request a handicap sign in the neighborhood for a deaf, blind, or autistic child. Any questions?
I have one. Sue.
Yes,
So how does traffic safety play into this?
they don't.
Okay.
And this, we went over it last week, the resident will apply at the city clerk's office, fill out a form, get a certification from the doctor. City clerk will keep it on file and we'll go through it, I think I put every 3 years, every 5 years. Because once they hit 18, sign comes down or if they move or whatever, so this way we have a record of what's there.
Mr. City Attorney, I don't mean for you to keep getting up and down, but can you come forward?
Steps in.
So the certification by the primary physician or the doctor, wouldn't that violate HIPAA?
No, all they gotta do is, it doesn't violate it because you're not getting into their personal information. They just have to certify that the person's blind, that the person
Okay.
can't hear.
So they're not
the
gonna,
person's categorized as autistic. And there's different categories, obviously, of autistic. I've had to deal with that when I've been on the bench. So.
so there's no diagnosis on
there's
this
no
certificate?
diagnosis. They just have to certify that this person is what they say they are,
Okay,
okay? And then this is only good till they're 18.
okay. Any other questions on that? Okay. All right, next series of resolutions, authorize the mayor to sign with National Hose, Delaware Hose, Niagara Hose, and the Union Hook and Ladder. So next up is National Hose. Questions? Sorry, who wants to sponsor it? Sponsor?
I got a question or some comment.
Okay.
We had the police looking in, we don't have I guess, a final written report. Would come up with national hopes, okay? I think it has to be tabled till we do, and, where the investigation went, are they giving us information, giving the police department information? It's a tough pill to swallow that. Has there been inquiries? I don't know, okay, until we get a final report, written report from the police department. That, my understanding was they're cooperative to a point, but uncooperative to another point. So, I mean, it's still somewhere or other is commingled money.
I can't give you a written report. I can only tell you what was passed along to me. In that there is no cooperation. Police have gone over there and there's nobody willing to cooperate. So their investigations at a dead end.
Well, Jim, if you're saying,
That's all I mean, you want a written report, you can get it. No, I'm just.
No, I understand.
Passing along to you what was passed on to me.
if you're saying you're making a motion to table, I'll second your motion to table until that time, which there can be cooperation or some type of.
Does that mean it's a scope of funding?
Well, they've got time. I mean, we don't release funding till April 1st. Okay, if the agreements are signed, they've got time to give the police, cooperate with them. It's taxpayers' money going into it. I mean, there's too many instances just recently with Canal Fest. My understanding, a girl absconded alleged $30,000. You look at Sheridan Park Fire Hall, what's it, $400,000. You look at the clerk in Dunkirk, how much was that? You know, I mean, we got to protect the taxpayer dollar. Just because you get money doesn't, you just can't go throwing it out there. That's why at the end you'll see the receipts given,
All right, so we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Sheasley, second by Mr. Fisher to table resolution just 6, correct? Okay. Mr. Clerk, please call. Whoa.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Boyce,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, resolution 6 is tabled. All right, resolution 7 authorizes the mayor to sign an agreement with Delaware Hose. Do we have a sponsor?
I'll sponsor 7, 8, and 9, but I do have a question on 7, 8, and 9. Number 3, where it says there will be a $7,500 set up in the account by the treasurer, and the expenditures would then be approved by the fire chief, paid for, and sent back. I don't remember having a discussion about this. I do remember hashing this out where we did come to the agreement. We did review the receipts. We did talk about the one fire company with the accountability. What changed? Why we're not giving them the 7,500 and just walking away from them? Saying they're going to enter in the agreement. Chief, if I could bring you up as far, because this is a combination department. I know we went through this with Chief McNulty. Did something change on your end? The 7,500?
It come from me.
This didn't come from you. Do we know who this came from?
Yeah, me.
Oh, you submitted the resolution. Okay.
Yeah, I submitted those resolutions.
So you want to see number 3, the number 3 change?
That's free to change what's there because the accountability, again, we have no idea. I'll give you an example. When I don't have it with me, it's on my desk. They gave us a blank sheet. We spent 7,500. We spent 3,500 for a banquet. If we don't know.
Well, we fixed it last year with the receipts, and then one of the calls
We didn't get receipts. We got totals they spent. I don't consider that a receipt.
Well, it was a breakdown because I believe the one that we did complain about actually was rounded numbers, 200, it was 500 versus $47.62. I received a call from Dick Goodman, pardon me, I forget which company he's with, Union or Delaware, but I got a call from Dick Goodman, and one of the things, was it? See, I was way off. I apologize. But Dick Goodman called me, and one of the conversations we had was when we hashed this out was we give them the 7,500. They enter into the agreement to be a combination department with your department in exchange that you guys can call volunteers and do all that stuff. And we walk away from the 7,500 under the impression that it is going to be accounted for on that yearly sheet, not with receipts, or where you can get receipts if you want, if they're cooperative. And then this is what we're buying into this contract. Is that essentially correct? Does this number 3 change how you would do business with your companies?
It does, yes.
It does change the.
Yes, so the money going directly to them, it would come to me like any other expense I deal with Harbor to sign off on.
For us to be a better combination department / paid combination volunteer, however you guys word that, excuse me if I'm screwing up the terminology. What's the better way for you? What's the better way for the city?
And for the city, if you want accountability, it's what you're doing. Now, Dick Goodman did reach out to me this morning. He requested, and I'm just throwing it out there for you guys, you do what you want with it. He requested that you guys table this for all 4. They would like the opportunity to sit with you guys and talk before you make a decision. Okay, it's your decision. I'm just throwing it out to you.
We talked with them over a year ago.
Yep.
A similar thing as that was become to a shouting match or whatever. But, they don't want to provide those things. To me, when you pay your electric, when you pay your gas, you have all those accountabilities. If they're giving a scholarship out, then fine. Okay, give us some more the information in regards to it. Just to give you, I don't have, the one was written on a napkin. So, I mean, what accountability is that? In the last council,
There's no traceability.
pardon me?
Traceability. There's no traceable.
Right, and the last council said no matter what money, it's commingled money. They take that 75 and put it in another bank account. We should have the right to look at that, because that was a problem about whatever came with that other incident, is that where was the money taken from? Well, we have an account that's closed. This is all rumored, sir. I'm not knocking you.
And I don't know the details.
I don't know the details, is that it was, so we can't get to it because they refuse.
Chief, does each volunteer department have like a CPA or that
They have
reviews
some
books?
treasurer. I don't know if they have
Okay.
training.
I mean, in the past, the resolutions have said they have to provide a financial statement by X date. I believe it was February or something like that. This would be a huge change in the department's process.
Well, we do that with all our other city money, is that we need receipts. We need receipts, and then suddenly we're just carte blanche giving 30,000, what is it, $30,000.
Well, from my understanding, how this plays out is we're buying into the contract with the volunteer companies for 7,500. Just happens to be for 30,000, but we're buying into them in exchange for that contract, that 7,500 in exchange for the contract. You then get to call it a combination department and have the ability to call Grand Island and Tonawanda as backup, right? Because you're volunteers. Where if you don't have a contract with volunteers and you were 100% paid, such as City of Buffalo, you can't call for mutual aid from volunteers. Oh, you still can. So we don't have to then necessarily enter into this contract for 7,500 in this fashion.
Mutual aid, that doesn't play into it.
So what's the purpose of entering into the contract this way for 7,500? Like, why are we buying into the volunteer companies for that price in that fashion?
Volunteer services that they provide to the city.
I know there's a cost to insurance.
The parade truck, I talked to Dick Goodman in length about the parade truck. The city gave them the truck and said, maintain this truck for parade services, but you guys are on the hook for it. And then the other one was rehab. Like, we really don't have many active volunteer firefighters, but the volunteer members of the company are part of the rehab that come out to the fires, and the fire police also, which save a lot of money.
But you have a lot more. I was here that burn in last
They
week.
provide a good service to us.
Yes, oh, yes.
And we lose that service if we don't pay into this agreement and hire their services.
Essentially.
I was under the impression that we hashed this out last year. We were writing.
I was not happy with it last year when I looked at what they handed us. It's very vague.
3 out of the 4 I was happy with. It's three out of the 4 I took as truth. Just based on their numbers.
Well,
So can I add something?
Sure, please.
So I actually had a conversation with the fire chief and I also met with the union firefighters and they supported this accountability. We're not trying to take money from anybody, but in this day and age, as Councilman Sheasley said, there are so many examples of people who get caught up for maybe reasons that they never thought they would get caught up on. We're not going to not pay the insurance. We're not going to not pay the rehab on the truck. Alls it is if there's something that has to be fixed on the truck, they give the bill to the fire chief who says, yep, there's $7,500 in your account, submit it and it's paid. They have an insurance bill. They bring the receipt, they give it to the fire chief, he signs off and it goes forward. Alls this is adding a layer of accountability for that money to know where your money's being spent. And I don't see where the downside is unless there's something.
I do agree with
that's not being
Councilman
spent.
Fisher that last year I thought we had a lot of our questions answered. Doing this for almost 14 years here, that has been the same process going forward. And we did ask for extra accountability when we added the need for the financial statement. Now, the case in point that Mr. Fisher brought up is the department had this vehicle and there was a repair that was needed and it was $1,200. So are we requiring our volunteers to front the money first, then wait X days to get the check, to get reimbursed? I mean, I think we want to make it easier on our volunteers, not more difficult.
I think they did it in Dunkirk, and the guys got scammed with $400,000 in tax money. I mean, they shut down for a bunch of time.
Every other department, if a police car breaks, the bill gets submitted to the police chief, he gives it to the treasurer. There's always a 30-day window to pay the bill. Nobody has to pay it instantaneously. It's just accountability, plain and simple. It's done in every department, every police, DPW, fire, they all have to submit bills with receipts to get reimbursed. But somehow this one, and maybe it was done in the past, but times have changed and we keep seeing it over and over again. Embezzlement, missing money. You have one of the fire department or volunteers, they weren't cooperative with this. They weren't forthcoming for whatever reason. I don't know what that is, but there's a prime example now of one of the 4 that has run into an issue. So before we have a major problem where it's spent on something that it shouldn't be spent on, this put guardrails in place to make sure that doesn't happen.
I think our treasurer has a.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to add to was,
I just want to make sure your comments are on the record.
Thanks. Easily got to the game. But the only thing I wanted to add was, when we cut these $7,500 checks, we do a PO and we have receipts with every single one of our POs. So I'm looking to get an actual receipt for a PO, not just a council resolution that I attach to a PO for $7,500 and then send the cash out. So that's why I'm trying to make sure that the city's money is more accounted for and that it's not just a blank, $7,500 supported by a council resolution that we spent, times 4. So it's, 30 grand that we spent and all I have is support.
I think I made mention last year when I'm talking, I says, if you needed more for whatever reason that truck breaks and it's 5,000, it took a lot from you, come to us. We're not that hard on things, yes, it's a great service. But, my opinions.
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to table 7, 8, and 9 basis. I think there's more discussion that we have to have. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Fisher. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Nay.
Fisher,
Aye.
Greg,
I
voice and A,
Aye.
Cook,
I declare resolution 7, 8, and 9 tabled. Then we'll mention it as we get on the floor. Okay. All right, resolution 10. close the Renaissance Bridge on Sunday, May 24th from 11:30 to 12:30. Any questions on this? All right, sponsored by Councilman Sheasley. All right, Resolution 11, special event application for Green Beer Sunday. Any questions or comments on this? Okay.
Second.
Oh, I'll get to that later.
Okay.
All right, Resolution 12, special event application. For Roswell Park Alliance. For Ride for Roswell. Okay. Questions on that? Okay. Council, do we have executive? No?
I do
Mary-
for a person. Particular person.
Personnel of a particular person?
Yep.
Okay. All right, it's 7:02. I'll make a motion to adjourn our informal, go into our formal. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Fisher. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All
Council
right.
President, I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Clerk.
Who is the sponsor for resolution number 2? I couldn't hear that portion.
Mr. Voisinay.
Thank you.
All right, it's 7:03. Let's call the meeting of the City of Tonawanda Council to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Here.
Fisher,
Here.
Greg,
Here.
Voisinay,
Here.
Cook.
Here, please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor Chris Hagler, please come forward.
Meeting everyone. Please spend a moment with me as I pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you today, this evening, with humble hearts as we gather for this city council meeting. We ask for your guidance and wisdom for each council member as they make decisions that are important and impact our community. Grant them clarity of thought, wisdom for their constituents, and the courage to act justly and fairly. May their discussions be filled with knowledge, boldness, respect, and collaboration. And may the outcomes and decisions reflect your will for our city. Surround them with your peace and help us all to work together for the common good. And it's in Christ's holy name we pray.
Thank you. You may be seated. Communications from the mayor have been ordered and filed. Communications from city officials and correspondents have also been ordered and filed. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions. For those that are joining us in person, please approach the microphone. For those that are joining us virtually, there's a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so, and we will call upon you. Mr. Clerk, we have a comment on the floor.
Bill Simon, 6 Plymouth. The question is this deal with the park. Number 4. I was at last meeting and we talked about a lot of things. You talked about a lot of things that aren't written in here. And one of them is they are responsible to do the work, the water line work and all that. Nowhere in here does it say that, or is that one of those we're going to assume, like we assumed everything else is?
I'll defer that question to the city attorney. My guess would be it's in the lease agreement or.
We are going to supply the water, they are gonna provide the method for supply. It will be in there, that's just one of those, that's not I have all the relevant provisions contained in here as far as money, as far as responsibility, but those are little items that we will have to put in there. Otherwise I'd have to put in 5-6 page lease in here for everybody to comment with all the legal.
Well, as a taxpayer, I kind of like to see that lease before it was done, but I guess I don't have the right to that.
Well, you don't have,
Well,
it's not a question of
just-
getting it right, it's a question of
It-
the fees cover the use of the water. Everything that's here is covered. We are not paying anything over and above what I said was.
Mr. Sutton, my understanding is nothing's been signed yet because this resolution will direct,
So it will be
This-
something well before we ever see it as a taxpayer.
you can certainly foil that request.
And I have several other questions. You mentioned that quote unquote, they're a food truck. Now, technically, are they a truck or are they a trailer that's being dropped on the ground 12 months out of the year?
So they will qualify under the food truck ordinance permit, et cetera, category.
So the maintenance to the bathrooms, which is gonna be expensive because whether you want to believe it or not, people do go to the bathroom after they eat at that place. I can eat there. That maintenance is gonna be borne by the city. The
It'll be
additional
city employees, yes.
Yeah. So. The city.
Just
employees,
as the same if
as a
somebody was,
Taxpayer, I'm paying. Is that correct?
well, just as the same if somebody was walking along Niwanda Park and uses the facilities.
Or somebody's. We're not taking that into account. Are they leaving it there 12 months out of the year? I believe they are.
I'll defer that question to the city attorney.
The seasonal business, they're leasing for the year.
Okay,
It's a seasonal business,
trailer there.
They're not gonna be serving tacos and margaritas while it's snow.
No, I understand that. It's very difficult. I'm not 4 years old anymore. I
I understand that, but that's what you asked, and I said it's a seasonal.
My point is, it's going to be on city property 12 months out of the year for $11,000. So we're getting less than $1,000 a month to have this albatross sitting there.
Well, that's not necessarily true, because we're also getting sales tax that's generated from the sales of this business, that all comes back to the city. So to say that it's a flat fee is not accurate. And first of all, this covers our utilities and our water. Okay, so we're hoping, and I think the city's hoping, that this takes off. And we bring a lot more people into the community to generate a lot of sales tax and a lot of other business.
That sales tax, of course, being split between us and every county. So
No, well, it comes directly to us. Only cities get their share of the sales tax.
But we don't get a percentage of the guy's take. If he takes off and does a great job, hey, well, good for us. We gave him $1,000 a month or less in rent. And I think this is something that should be brought out to the public. It is the public that's involved. I'm gonna ask a question and you don't have to answer it because probably it's a concern. Before this was all put to agreement, when we decided to put it down there, did anyone approach the MUD? Did anyone approach the owners, the Verifados, who have been there forever? Did anyone approach them and say, hey, by the way, we're gonna put this trailer, this storage container down at the park and it won't affect your business because it's, a couple 100 yards away from your business? Did anyone talk to them as humans?
I personally did not know, but it's on city of Tonawanda property, so.
Oh, yeah. Who cares, guys? Who cares? Don't worry about it. They pay the taxes for how many years?
Do you have any other questions?
No, I don't, not on that. But I did have a question. Did we table resolution number 6? Because I heard you were table 7, 8, 9. I didn't hear 6.
Yes, resolution 6 is tabled. Any other questions on the resolutions? Mr. Clerk, we have a question, comment on the floor.
Timothy Brianna, 44 Scott Street. The only question I have is in the resolution, not stating the TPA of this company that.
Are you referring to resolution 4?
Yes.
Okay,
They're just put the TPA so that people in the city know who's showing up there.
that, I believe that's their license, but.
Timothy, you mean in addition to Spano Enterprises LLC?
Yes, but it's the TPA.
It's Papa Grande's,
It's not in the resolution.
because the lease agreement's being entered with Spano Enterprises LLC or Spano.
Yeah.
All right, any other comments or questions on the resolution? Mr. Clerk, anyone joining us virtually wish to address the council?
No, ma'am.
All right, we'll proceed.
Yeah. In regards to what you just said.
Mr. Clerk, we have a comment on the floor.
Uh,
It's on the resolution?
On that resolution, yes. Why are we writing this resolution with a shroud over it instead of informing the public? You know what? that's gonna look like-
Mr. Simon, let me stop you right there. Because I believe we've been very transparent on the discussions with this business, Elevate. I was not here at the last meeting, but prior to, there's been discussions with this potential business owner for over a year and a half. So we've been very transparent.
Was a bill. But he has food.
Well, I'm surprised so many people showed up this evening, but I mean, you know, it is what it is. Any other comments on the resolutions? All right, we will proceed.
Resolution number 1, sponsored by Councilmember Gregg.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Sheasley.
Resolved that the common council minutes from February 3rd, 2026 be accepted as filed.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gregg. Voice and A.
Right.
Declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 2, sponsored by Councilmember Voice and A. Resolved that the bills be allowed as audited.
Is there a second? Seconded by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gregg.
Aye.
Voice and A.
Right.
Declare the resolution adopted.
Do we want to handle the amendment first?
Yep. I'm good. So just as a formality, I know we did it our informal. There was an amendment made on the floor during the informal to amend this resolution. It will read as follows: with electric and water, commercial boats is $60. Without electric and water, commercial boats is $55. That was amended by Mr. Cheesley, seconded by Mr. Voisinay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, declare the resolution amended.
May I proceed?
Yes, you may.
Thank you. Sponsored by Councilmember Sheasley. Whereas the title of this resolution ordinance has been published at least once in a newspaper of general circulation, more specifically on February 7th, 2026, in accordance with section 2.047 of the city charter. Now therefore be it resolved that Chapter 30 entitled Fees, Article 20, Waterways, Section 30-571, Overnight Docking Fee Schedule for Tonawanda's Gateway Harbor Docking Facilities are hereby amended as follows. The overnight docking fee schedule for the Tonawanda's Gateway Harbor Docking Facilities required by Section 78-4 is as follows per night. With electric and water, commercial boats, $60. 25 feet and under boats, $35. 26 to 40 feet boats, $40. 41 feet and over boats, $45. The next section is without electric and water. Commercial boats, $55. 25 feet and under boats, $30. 26 feet to 40 feet boats, $35. 41 feet and over boats, $40. Daily fees, 25 and under boats, $20. 26 feet to 40 feet boats, $25. 41 feet and over boats, $30. Commercial boats, $40. Be it further resolved that the above article shall take effect upon publication of its title in an official newspaper of the city of Tonawanda.
Mr. City Attorney?
There's a question that came up. This has already been published in this fashion. And it may have to be tabled to be republished with the correct numbers.
It's been published with the
When do you
inverted.
know when was this published?
Says it was published on February 7th.
Mr.
That is
Clerk,
correct.
did we just publish the title? Which is historically
I
what
think
we
they
do.
may have published all the fees. If they did, you might have a problem.
Mr. Clerk, do you have a copy of the publication from February 7th?
Yes, I can bring up that proof. I believe it was sent to the city attorney to confirm. We confirmed the February 7th date for the resolution.
Typically, when we publish an ordinance, it's just the title. So did we publish the changes of the fees as well?
Let me look that up.
Thank you, Mr. City Attorney.
It is all of the chapter language as well as all the fees.
Okay, so do you make a motion to table?
What are the, Mr. Clerk, what are the fees? Are they the same?
Unless you made a typo only on here and it was
Right,
published.
that's what I'm concerned.
No, it's also $55 for commercial boats for electric water. That's what was received from the Recreation Department.
Mr. Sheasley, do you want to make a
Table
motion?
it.
Okay, so I have a motion on the floor by Mr. Sheasley to table the resolution. I'll second. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Greg,
Aye.
Voisin,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, resolution 3 has been tabled. Good catch. Okay, we will proceed.
Resolution number 4, sponsored by Councilmember Fisher. Whereas Spano Enterprises LLC is desirous of entering into a lease arrangement with the city of Tonawanda to operate a seasonal restaurant facility located in Niawanda Park in a fenced area between the bandshell and the restroom facilities, and the city having negotiated terms of said lease. Now therefore be it resolved that the Common Council of the city of Tonawanda authorizes the mayor to enter into a lease with Spano Enterprises LLC under the following terms and conditions. Number 1, a 3-year lease commencing April 1st, 2026 and ending March 31st, 2029 with a 30-day notice prior to the end of the first year of the lease for either party to opt out of said lease or modify terms. Number 2, rental with $11,000 first year, $11,500 second year, $12,000 the third year, inclusive of water and electricity. Number 3, a 40 feet by 8.5 foot container will be allowed to be stored behind the bandshell all year. Number 4, the confined area will be fenced off by ropes attached to wooden poles in accordance with the requirements of the New York State Liquor Authority. Number 5, Spano Enterprises LLC will provide the city with a certificate of insurance naming the city as additional insured in the amount of $1 million and $3 million, as well as a hold harmless clause. The city will amend the current ordinance on alcohol consumption to permit service within the confined leasehold area. Number 7, the city will provide a maximum of 10 totes for trash disposal. Number 8, the business will not operate past 10 p.m.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Sheasley. Comments or questions?
Just,
Mr. Voisin?
yeah, just kind of, there's been a lot of discussions on this. We intentionally included to modify terms or opt out in case there's issues with residents, or if there's massive increased costs, then we'll reassess within the year. So just wanted to reach that bill for this.
Thank you, Mr. Voisin. Any other comments, Mr. Fisher?
there was multiple things said, and we take it from two sides. Take it from the mayor's side, and we take it from the comment side of the public, which was, by the public, I mean, Mr. Simon, who was a previous fourth ward candidate. The mayor made a comment where he said, the city is open for business. We've heard from a previous candidate that he doesn't like the idea that the city is open for business. The bathrooms use will increase, with the quote from that person saying, a lot more somebodies. Why wouldn't we want a lot more somebodies? Like, we tried to increase the bike path. We put a big chair as a photo point to get people to come to our city, to come to our bike path. And here we have this idea of putting a food truck there. And then to ask the question, did anybody approach MUDS? Did anybody talk to them? When MUDS put in District 37, do you think they went over and talked to the dockside and said, hey, we're thinking about putting a 37 tap bar right across the street from your bar? So we have different bureaucracy points involved, like the SLA. The SLA is going to make sure Spano Enterprises LLC doesn't violate the terms and conditions of whatever his liquor license is. Like, is he going to be too close to Old Man Rivers, which I think is the closest establishment that's selling liquor, because Squires is out of business, right? Squires is looking to go in. It's anybody who's leasing Squires, they go talk to Joey's place and say, hey, I'm thinking about putting a competitive business in. That's not how it works, because we're government, right? So if we're government and we're trying to control capitalism, wouldn't we just be communists? I'm just, Mr. Simon, would you like to answer that question? Are you, if we're government controlling capitalism, wouldn't we just be communists? You're answering, so you take money to answer.
There's no comments by the public.
So I'm asking everyone to vote yes on this, because this is the spark that could set the fire on that bike path. What happens when another food truck wants to come in and we want to put a coffee shop down there or something seasonal? We could really expand on this, and this person's looking to invest the money into it. Absolutely, one of the best things I think is going to happen this summer. Thank you.
Any other comments?
$1 million. Mr.
Sheasley.
People come from all over to look at that river. Give them more. That makes us look better.
Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Greg.
Aye.
Voice and A.
Aye.
Declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 5 by Councilmember Gregg. Whereas any City of Tonawanda resident requesting a handicapped child sign to be issued for their neighborhood for a deaf, blind, or autistic child must complete an application available in the city clerk's office and submit with certification from child's physician concerning the disability. These requests will be submitted to the Common Council for a final decision. The clerk's office shall keep all applications on file and recertify every 5 years until the child becomes 18 years of age.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions?
Okay, comment.
Mrs. Gregg?
This is just setting up new procedure. We talked about it last week and we talked about it in the informal session. So when people need a handicap sign on their street, rather than submitting it to the council, to be submitted to the traffic board, to be submitted back to the council, and no action is ever taken, they can just come in and apply at the clerk's office, fill out a form, get a note from their doctor saying that the child is deaf, or he is.
Can you guys take it in the back, because we're starting to hear feedback up here. Thank you. I apologize.
If the child is deaf, blind, or autistic, it'll be kept on file in the clerk's office, and he'll recertify them every 5 years in case the family moves out or if the child becomes over 18. Just puts procedure in place. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Mr. Fisher.
Thank you, Ms. Gregg, for simplifying bureaucracy. That's it.
It was my pleasure.
It's simple. They want a sign, they can go this way and get a sign. I appreciate that.
Any other comments? Please call the roll.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Greg.
Aye.
Voice and A.
Aye.
Declare the resolution adopted. All right, resolution 6 was tabled by Mr. Sheasley, seconded by Mr. Fisher during our informal, just as a formality. We'll do it here as well. Resolution 6 tabled by Mr. Sheasley, seconded by Mr. Fisher. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, resolution 7 It's tabled by myself, seconded by Mr. Fisher. During the informal, as a formality, this resolution has been tabled by myself, seconded by Mr. Fisher. All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution has been tabled. During the informal, Resolution 8 was tabled by myself, seconded by Mr. Fisher, just as a formality. Make the motion to table Resolution 8, seconded by Mr. Fisher. All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution has been tabled. Resolution 9 during the informal was tabled by myself, seconded by Mr. Fisher. As a formality, I'll make the motion to table this resolution, seconded by Mr. Fisher. All those in favor?
Aye.
A resolution has been tabled. All right, that brings us to Resolution 10.
Resolution 10, sponsored by Councilmember Sheasley. Resolved that permission is granted to the Tonawonda's United Veterans Council to close the Renaissance Bridge on Sunday, May 24th, 2026 from 11:30 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. for the Twin Cities Annual Memorial Day observance.
Is there a second? Second by Mr. Fisher. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gregg,
Aye.
Boyce.
Aye.
Declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 11, sponsored by Councilmember Sheasley. Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from Gateway Harbor for Green Beer Sunday, and whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents, and whereas all details for the above named event must be coordinated with Captain Adam Kiersitz and the event chairperson, now therefore be it resolved that permission is granted to Gateway Harbor to conduct its Green Beer Sunday on March 1st, 2026 from 12 p.m. until 3:30 p.m. and be it further resolved that the parade route from Broad to Main to Canal Street Plaza be closed from 12 p.m. to 12:30 p.m. Be it further resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city of Tonawanda as additional insured be filed with the city clerk no later than February 18th, 2026.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Boyce. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gregg, Boyce.
Aye.
Declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 12 by Councilmember Gregg. Whereas a special events application was received by the city clerk from the Roswell Park Alliance Foundation, and whereas the application was reviewed and commented on by all appropriate department heads to ensure the safety and well-being of our residents, whereas all details for the above named event must be coordinated with Captain Kiersitz and the event chairperson, now therefore be it resolved that permission is granted to Roswell Park Alliance Foundation to hold the Ride for Roswell on Saturday, June 27th, 2026 from 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and be it further resolved that any overtime that is incurred during this event will be paid for by Roswell Park Alliance Foundation, and be it further resolved that a certificate of insurance naming the city of Tonawanda as additional insured be filed with the city clerk no later than June 12th, 2026.
I'll second. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Cook,
Aye.
Sheasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gregg,
Aye.
Boyce.
Aye.
I declare the resolution adopted. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public following the resolutions. For those that are joining us in person, please approach the microphone. If you're joining us virtually, there's a spot for you to raise your hand. Please do so, and the clerk will call upon you. Mr. Clerk, we have a comment on the floor.
Couple comments, in regard to, I hear we're always trying to save money. We have many businesses in the city that do not follow their sidewalks and protect their residents from walking. And it's more business oriented, and I understand that if you call the police department, then they call the building or somebody else, and it goes through this whole chain of command. This graphic just showed how easy it is, for things to be resolved by going to the proper channels, but it's really sad when you can't walk from downtown to your home without passing businesses that are not caring for the sidewalks during all the snow that we're having. And it's a simple thing, they can plow the driveway, but they're not plowing the walkways. Second point is, people have been saying that Washington Mills sound, the noise is loud over there. I know there's not much we can do as a city because it's manufacturing, but just for, it's right on the water. So when people are in their boats, they're gonna hear Washington Mills turning up all that parts of the noise. Third thing, and I'm gonna go back to the resolution really quickly. The reason I asked about the DBA was you're making an agreement with the corporation. You're not making an agreement with what the vendor is and what type of business it will be. So any the restaurant didn't out that supposedly is going in, they can change the food, and you're only in business with the LLC and not with the main place of business that you're getting. So you may have tacos this year, next year you might get beaters.
Thank you. Mr. Priano, if you want to give a list of those businesses to the mayor that falls under the day-to-day, you could certainly follow up with the police. Any other comments? Mr. Clerk, any resident joining us for early wish or death in council?
No, ma'am. No one's raised their hand to signify they would like to speak.
Okay, Mayor.
I'm happy to report that on February 9th, we did close on the Ellicott Creek property that had been banged around for a while on trying to get it. So we actually have the money and it is closed. Thanks to the city attorney for hopping on that and getting it done. We have a letter of intent for 14 acres at Spalding Fiber. I am very excited, although it's not a done deal, obviously. It already has progressed to a proposed property sale agreement that is with the attorneys. Hopefully in the very near future, we're going to have the rest of Spalding Fiber sold off and out of the city's hands, which would be an awesome thing. Another reminder, the engineer just wanted me to put out that letters, and it is on the website, that when they do fix the bridge at 2 Mile and Fletcher, the bike path is going to have a detour. They have to post it. They have to put that out. Couple other things I had for actually just us informal. Yesterday, I attended the funeral of a former city employee, Judy Kurtzworth. I had the privilege of working with her. She was my secretary in the police department for quite a few years. As good of an employee as she was a better person. And it's a huge loss to especially her family, but also the community. She was so active in so many different things, and I just wanted to give my condolences to her family and to say that she'll be sorely missed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I too echo the sentiments of the mayor on Judy's passing. She was very active with the garden club. She was all around amazing person. Our condolences to Peter and her entire family. I'd also like to wish my dad a very happy birthday. And with that, I'll then turn it over to Mr. Sheasley.
Couple of things, and Mr. Priano, if there's any in the first order in regards to plows that were very much with building inspector public works, because down on Crankwood, we had like 4 or 5 foot snow banks. They cleaned them up within a couple of days without the city. You know, and I agree with you. There are a number of people that don't take the time to do it. If you have an old person in the area like me, hire someone for a few dollars, or, you know, get your neighbor, be a good neighbor, you know. I don't agree with Mr. Simon about let's check with the other businesses. I don't, Bill. I said, we got to get business. This is a jewel behind us. And we got to use that to the best. We can't just let it sit there like that. We make no money. we make no money. We dirty the bathrooms, oh well, then our city workers gonna have to work a little harder. Bottom line, and that's gotta be from everybody. We sit there and you can smile and jiggle or whatever, but this is what we have to do. And we're gonna do it, we're gonna keep doing it, building, trying to get more and more business into the city. To try to relax the tax break. And my condolences to Pete. I think her son's name's Tim. Good people. Judy was a great girl. My condolences to them. I think that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Sheasley. Mr. Fisher.
This week's Chris Fisher Gives Back. It's going to the Vietnam Veterans, Chapter 77. They run a food pantry over there. We're about to come up on St. Patrick's Day and then Easter. So there's gonna be a lot of veterans looking for the food pantry. So make sure you give them a check earlier in the year. To go back on the mayor's comments from last week, we are open for business, and resolution number 4 showed that today. That like Jason was saying in the resolution, we can pull it back. We have a closure clause, 30 days. We have a problem. And Timothy, if there's an issue, like he switches from tacos to Chinese food and it becomes an issue in a breach of contract, the city attorney is going to be on that. But, if you're familiar with the property at all that he has down in the first ward across from Resurgence, if he brings that footprint here, we're expecting a lot of somebody's use the bathroom. And that would be a good thing. And like Jim just brought up, we're paying a city employee to clean the bathroom regardless, whether if 2 people use it or 200 use it, we're paying to have someone clean it. Going back to the open for business though, Canal Fest. It's all over Facebook. Canal Fest has left the city of Tonawanda. With that being said, Canal Fest has left the city of Tonawanda. The city of Tonawanda did not, we had him here. We had Rick Mayer here in front of us, and we tried to have that conversation. And I wanted to see, I've been fielding phone calls from different businesses in the city today going, what is Grantwood Park? There's not even a canal over there. That's the river. What are they doing? I said, you got to call Canal Fest. We were open to it. We even had Jim, who wasn't a solid no, who was willing to have that discussion. And whether or not it's something to do with their financial issue, I know Jim alluded that there was something to do with the treasurer or somebody having some type of internal problem there. Whether or not that was part of their decision to leave and save money by not paying the permit, that's something that has to be said to them. But we were open to having that conversation with Canal Fest, and they made it public today, right? Did anybody else? This is the news to anybody else? They went on social media with it, and they've announced that they are not seeking a permit from us, and they are going to go to Gratwick. I would like to, at least from my standpoint, to be on the record that if it doesn't work out at Gratwick for 2026, they're welcome to come entertain us in 2027. We'd like to have them back. Canal Fest is not a done deal, just temporarily for the 1 year. And then Judy. I met Judy in the mayor's office last year, and Judy was the mayor's representative for the Veteran of the Month program. So it was Judy and I running the program. Different people came up here and did the photo ops and whatnot, but it was me and Judy was the one that I would call, and Judy would call me and say, this is what I got, or this is who applied. So to learn of her passing, it's sad anytime someone like that goes. And, she really came out of retirement to come back into the city government. You know what I mean? Like she really did love the city. So that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Mrs. Gregg.
First of all, my condolences to Judy and her family. Judy was a regular in our garden walk. I don't know if anyone ever saw her gardens, but her and Peter put a tremendous amount of time, and she's very proud of it. That's my first thing. Second thing is, I take exception to the comments about everything's done in secret or everything's done behind closed doors. We have a limited choice out there because we have no newspaper. There's no way to get the word out. We put the agenda on the Facebook. The Bee does a real good job reporting. The Buffalo News is never here. Well, I shouldn't say never. They're very seldom here. I'll pick the story up later. It's word of mouth. We put the videos on the Zoom is online and under the city's website. Word of mouth is the only way we can get the word across. And if anyone comes up with an idea on how we can get the word out better, let us know. I mean, the only thing we could do is do a mailing, and that would cost us way too much money. We're trying to cut back on costs. So, you know, encourage people to come to the meetings, encourage people to call their councilmen. We're always open to people, people. Our numbers are on the website. But to say that we do things in secret, this is only my second month here, and I think we're more open than a lot of the previous councils. We opened up the informal session day in here. Nothing is worse than sitting in that back room doing informal. You have no idea what they're talking about. You can't hear anything. And that's where the decisions are made and the discussions are had. So I firmly believe that we do a good job getting the word out and being open about our government. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gregg. Mr. Voisinay?
I also second the condolences to Trudy families and that group of people. As part of this community process. Second, open meetings about Papa Grande's. I think it's been discussed many times. And all over Facebook are meetings. These are open meetings. This is open communication. It's been discussed multiple times. So hopefully if people want to attend, they can come to the forums and attend. With that said, a lot of activity going on in the Fourth Ward, as the Mayor indicated, a lot of work on installing. Also attended the Housing Authority meeting today, meeting about their projects ongoing, and things are moving right along there. Not part of the city, but it's with the Housing Authority, so just some communication here. Also was able to attend the police and fire swearing investment, which is very nice. And nice to see people in the community out to support them. So that was very good. And then last but not least, I want to be clear to the residents that the city of Tonawanda did not decide to move Camel Fest. Okay? We did not decide. We had in our open meeting last week discussions with them. We were open to bringing the rides back. Full support of our not-for-profits. We want to make sure our not-for-profits are supported. We have full extreme support from that, waiting to hear back from them. And unbeknownst to us, we saw the same thing everyone else saw. It posted on Facebook. We did not have part of this decision. Decisions made by the corporation. Committee, sir. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Voisinay. I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for personnel of a particular person. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Fisher. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll. Sorry, he raised his hand first.
Cook,
Aye.
Beasley,
Aye.
Fisher,
Aye.
Gregg,
Aye.
Voisinay.
Aye.
All right, the common council will be going to executive session, then we'll come back out on the floor.
I'm gonna put everybody in the waiting room.
Yeah. Me too. No offense. I have already found something to back.
I'm out of here. I'm not
The reason why I don't give 4%, to a person making these grand, not 4%, because I think $100 for us. Yeah, continue to go. Just keep it fast down. That's why it's a city, want to argue with these, the department heads are, they need a 2%, not a 4, not a 6. Compared to the usual, they need a 20. And I know from my short little time on the council, that was White's argument at the time was, well, if that's what the unions are getting, that's what everyone else should get. It's like, no, not how it works.
We have to go around the room. And maybe around the room.
Okay.
Okay.
I got around the room. I got a couple things for you as a council. No.
Okay. Can I go to the restroom real quick?
Yeah.
Old people.
I'm just
I'm gonna be
waiting
super
for-
quick.
I'm just waiting for Mario to go back live.
I'm ready, and I have everybody that was in the waiting room back, into the meeting.
Okay, all right, let's go around the room. Anything?
Got nothing else.
Nothing? Mr. Fisher?
Just like we already spoke about on the record, we did not get rid of Canal Fest. Canal Fest voluntarily chose to leave us. And I wish they would come back to the table and have that conversation. That is all.
Mr. Price? Mr. Weisner?
Yes, a bunch of things to discuss. Number one, the council time. This is what I don't like about it. Everyone's gone. We don't have a discussion informal. We didn't have a guest today. I don't want to put any resolutions forward if everyone is not concurrence, starting at 6, informal at 7. But I think that in between times, if we can really have fruitful conversations about the city, if we have extra time, downtime, or something like that. So, something to consider. I don't know what you guys all feel about it.
I agree, I could go with 6 o'clock.
I mean, again, you see, this happens every single meeting this year. Everyone's gone. You go into out in, as soon as we come out, everyone's gone. So, you know, what do you guys? How do you guys feel?
If you want to go to 6, I'll support you. You want to leave it the way it is, I'll support you. You tell me if you want.
We wind them when we have guests, we run long. If we go into executive before, we're always past 7 o'clock, but leaving the executive at the end is, I think, a better movement. You know, being if you've got a guest at 6, like I think it was the Spanos, and then it was the Canal Fest. I mean, you know, you got a question to ask, and you say, "Oh, it's 7 o'clock, but we're done."
Yeah.
You know, we're not done with questioning. You know, it's a hard sell. I don't know how you do it. Like, you know, you got to guess 6 o'clock. If you don't, 6:30.
There's 2 ways to do it. We either do the 6:30 start of the informal, and then the formal starts at the conclusion of the informal, which could be 7:05, it could be 8:10. We don't have a fixed time, so when we have our guests, the pastors, preachers, rabbis, we don't have a set time to tell them, so that makes it hard. But if we go with the set time at 6, and then we go with the set formal at 7, there is going to be meetings in June, July, and August where we go from 6 to 6:20, and at 6:20, you're sitting here going, we can't start till 7. We're gonna have a 40-minute gap, and we're gonna have to go take a walk by the river. That's the way our rules are gonna read.
I think that's where it should be, because this idea of you're gonna start the formal session whenever, people come in at 7 o'clock and you started the informal session at 1:45 and it's over. You know, we can't have that. I think at least the formal session should be set. And I go, like I said, with the 6 o'clock for the informal, 7 for the formal. And if it's a short informal, we have to talk to one another at the end of the
Well,
day.
I mean, it's supposed to be a tough year, right? Shouldn't we be working together on other things?
Things to talk about.
Like what I'm gonna bring up next, you asked Adam a couple times about, let's get the budget going. Are we gonna, discussions going? So are we gonna get that back on the table?
Yeah, I'd like to.
So what do you think about this?
I don't care, you know, whatever the preference is. I mean, I agree. There's meetings where our informal is 15, 20 minutes long and we're just talking to talk.
Could I offer something just maybe that you want to try? And so you keep it the same way, but then instead of, do you have to go after the formal directly into executive? You still have the crowd here. Why don't you just, then you adjourn the formal and then do the around the room and everything and leave the executive for the end? You'd still have the crowd here.
Yeah, that's what
That was another thing. Just to try it. And if that doesn't work, you could always go, we're going to sit, because I know that people didn't like sitting around either.
They don't want to wait especially
for
if it goes
those,
long.
those early meetings.
The
and-
executive's supposed to be at the end.
Right.
So should
Which it
we
was.
have the informal after the formal, and not
That's-
executive?
That's what I'm saying. Leave the executive for, to
Was
try.
after the formal. We're now in informal.
Yeah. So executive has to be during. Can't be after.
That's what the rules of order, yes. Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
yep,
We're back into the informal now.
Correct.
Into the-
mm-hmm.
Are we informal in order to adjourn?
Yeah, but we didn't do our around the room, we didn't finish
You
it.
did round the room.
That was formal,
Yeah, we still,
Oh, you're talking about.
informal.
Well, this way, if it's a real short informal, everyone will have a chance to talk and say what they want to say at the end of the formal, if they're happy. Right?
Yeah.
Especially being in here and not in there. It blends together, like you said last week,
Yeah.
you don't go.
So I mean, this is a right resolution up, is that either 6 or we modify and do executive after the informal. Is that acceptable? Is that acceptable?
is it,
If you have an informal meeting at 6 and you're done at, say, at 6:15. You can go into executive until you go into the formal.
No, we had it right. Motions and resolutions, closing remarks by members of the common council, order of closing should be, and we have the closing. Unfinished business from the informal before the formal, then executive session if necessary, then adjournment.
oh, I apologize.
Okay.
So we have it designed like that, so we go right from formal. Like when we finished our formal today,
Yeah.
we should have then broke,
Yep,
went to informal, did the around the room.
Okay.
Once that was all done, then went to executive and adjourned after the end of that executive. That's how.
okay.
Twice.
Yes.
You're going round twice.
Yes,
Once-
this is,
Formal
Once.
and informal.
Once
Right.
Back to back. How are you gonna differentiate on the minutes?
Same way we're doing it now,
You cut it off at the end.
same way.
Just cut
So
off
the way it was designed was the 6:30 was the informal, 7 o'clock hard start for the formal. Then we're in the formal. Whenever the formal concludes, if there's unfinished business from the formal, I'm sorry, from the informal, we go back to informal,
Okay,
then into executive if necessary, and then adjourn.
okay.
It's right there, January 6th.
okay, so I apologize.
And just an observation, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of times when you do the informal and we go around, when you do the formal and go around, you repeat the same thing.
Same stuff.
If we do this way, it's like I have informal stuff
Yeah.
that, but I didn't have to go through all this other stuff. They don't have to hear it twice. Like it might streamline everything a little bit if you do try that.
Yeah, but your suggestion about the way we do executive is the way it is written.
Yeah.
Well, then, we'll do that.
So what are we gonna do?
Or 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We'll do it.
So hypothetically speaking, let's say we're still in session after we do our around the room and everything, then we would go into executive. It'd be the last piece of business.
And then we come back into.
Well, we can adjourn from there.
So how we came back out of executive and there's no one here, this wasn't designed like this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, good. There are changes, so we have to work through.
So what time are we gonna start?
6:30,
6:30, okay.
but reorganize. So people are here.
We can get our napkins.
Because there's informal discussions like that, like the budget discussion. Form, you know, gotta post that, so informally, what's the plan? We asked Adam to stay last time, John? What's the proper procedure?
yeah, I'll reach out to Adam, request that, when do we want to start?
Do you want to call for a budget hearing date? So like in March, we have the council meeting on the 3rd and the 17th, the 1st and 3rd Tuesday. But that's also the month where we have the 24th and the 31st. We have a 2-week gap after that. So we could have a budget roundtable on the 24th or the 31st. We could call for a special meeting.
Whether it's done after these meetings or separate meeting, just gotta get them started.
I think it should be a separate meeting, it's a time. You don't want to push it in, you're gonna be able to.
Okay, but we gotta coordinate that, so. And the hats, see, because they're all here already, that's. But if, I mean, if it's that long, if it's too long of a night, I'll see.
I'll reach out to you.
You know, so Bill, like, we're, you know, of course, we're all in the water, say, how it goes. Has anyone started or propagated trying to utilize AI? I imagine AI could do a lot in our office here. Any discussions on that at all or no? No, that's it. I don't, we got a rough start to go, but maybe for future discussion, we should put that on tables, you know, utilize AI.
Yeah, that's like, I don't even know where to
Well,
start
I
with
could
that.
do a lot of administrative tasks, right? So say you need additional administrative person, instead of additional administrative person, you get the task done with the existing personnel, there's AI.
I don't think we're that smart.
Well, the way in the future. Okay, I'll look into it.
You're trying to get Marty to quit, aren't you?
Two old guys.
Yeah.
You.
I mean, again, because I imagine there's a lot of redundant tasks in our city hall. And so if you could incorporate AI into it, and spend out a lot of busy money.
He doesn't understand, so.
Okay, that's what I said. Okay, we'll look into that more. So I talked to the DC, had discussions with him again about our deer management, just point to a couple of cities to look at. And then also us doing some more community outreach, maybe have them come in again and do a discussion. I know feeding is the biggest problem, all right, it's New York State law. Is there anything we can do as a city? Whether resolution or ordinance, not feed.
It's a DEC.
DEC.
Yeah, the
Well,
DEC.
Our police can write it. They can write those DECs, you know. The problem is you gotta see them, you know.
Isn't there a sign up by vets? No, don't feed the deer or something? They put a sign up. Yeah.
It's like a red light or stop sign.
Yeah.
Who pays attention?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, because I just think it shows that, you know, the first step they came in and talked was stop feeding deer. That's one of the, you open your door and they start coming towards your back door, it's because people are getting them food. All right.
So can I just piggyback on that a little
Yeah.
bit? Because I reached out to the gentleman that gave you the presentation last year. And he directed me, if you want to look at something, to West Seneca.
Yes.
They
right.
did a program, and recently there's some other communities that did it. But what goes into the prep work of ending up with a policy on doing something about the deer is incredible. You know, he said they did it right, but you'd have to hire a consultant. But just go, if you go to Deer Management West Seneca, you look, it took them like 2 years. They did surveys in the public.
They
I mean, it's a,
task force.
it was impressive,
Yeah.
but it was a huge
Undertaking. Yeah.
lift.
This-
It's not just like, let's call a DEC and have him come in and do it, but I wanted him, he's gonna come back in for me and Marty and anybody that can do it. I was like, I'm starting at ground zero. So can you bring me up to speed from day one? Like I didn't know anything was going on. And we're trying to set up a meeting with him now for that, but West Seneca was pretty.
He sent me that information, he'll send me that New York State laws also. I'll bring those up, I can print out or something.
But if West Seneca did this, did they get results?
Yeah, they it's basically like the deer task force is like a community outreach and
Or how did
taking
they stop
surveys.
the deer?
And then they put in deer management after the, you know, the whole 2 years
Right.
of planning.
But from what I can tell, they're not shooting the deer yet, and they're still evaluating the data on what they implemented, whether that's actually worked. And
Right.
I can't remember if it was 21 or 22 is when they started this, and they're still not there. That's why I'm just, it's not as simple as like.
Someone is managing, but a resident that's certified.
I didn't see that on the
Yeah.
website, but
Yeah.
Heinz, there are some provisions right also, it only says.
That's great. Anything that's great.
Last year, hunting was taking place,
regulations. Can't really shoot with 500 people residential.
No.
Building a factory, a business, all that kind of stuff.
Well, Crossbow is 250 and Bow is 150.
So when
And
you
then
start,
Gun is 500, so that's done.
yeah, so when you start looking at city town line, a whole lot of spots, you can actually shoot in your.
Yeah,
If you're gonna
he
do that,
indicated some use crossbow,
you know,
some use gun.
birth control or whatever.
But that's not what we're talking about right now. We're just talking about outreach and preventative.
Oh,
We're not talking about management right now. I don't want to start saying management right now.
right,
On the record.
right.
We're talking about outreach and, you know, looking into it. Yeah. Okay, and preventative. If you can get it, it's one of the first things that has.
Well, that'd be one of the getting easy.
Yeah. And then again, the last thing with Canal Fest, I just wanted to know. So events, they said they're moving to Gradwick, but I would presume there's, who do we find out from, or that we're still gonna have events on the canal? And if we're gonna be involved in them, who do we talk to about?
What do you mean events on the?
Like, if they're putting all the rides and food over there, do they say anything about the boat races? They're gonna have the concert. Are they actually gonna have anything, and the parade and stuff?
I mean, obviously, they'd have to coordinate that with us.
Yeah.
My understanding is everything's been moved to Gratwick.
Nothing left here.
Talk about
It's, well,
Yes.
there's a
That's
little
my-
caveat to that, because they talked about it at their meeting. I wasn't at the meeting, but yeah, that there's no place to have the parade. So they were talking about, would there be an opportunity to still have the parade? The other one was the Sika, the boat building, because they can't do the boat building in the river. So would they still have that on the canal? There's no discussions. It got back to me. I talked with the mayor and NT today because they were doing out a press release. And he said that someone told him that I said it would cost $100,000 for Canal Fest to come. And then there was another one that said there was a city official. I don't know who the city official is supposed to be, that was on the radio saying we wanted 70,000.
WBEN.
Yeah.
They said, Rick Mayer called me. Did he talk to you?
Yep.
Rick Mayer called me and said, city official was on WBEN. I don't know.
We just
He-
said,
so
what the number would be, and he walked out and said, we're not giving you 7. We never asked for 7.
He's
So-
claiming, Rick Mayer made a statement. I don't know if he made the same statement to you, but he called me on the phone and made a statement and said a city official was on WBEN and said 75,000 on the radio.
So what I heard from Rick was, because he had called me right after the vote, and he had said that there was a city official who contacted WBEN, didn't say they were on WBEN, and just said it would cost $70,000. And I said, I personally haven't seen any financial anything.
We didn't get that far.
No, I haven't.
Somebody's doing
We're
crap.
still in initial discussions, like, what is the, compensation?
They must have said their name when they did it.
Yeah, but remember, it's a news service, so you won't get your source usually.
I'm looking right now.
There's
I'll
nothing.
tell you
on
straight
there.
up, it wasn't me. I never threw a number
Well,
anywhere.
maybe-
I didn't even hear it.
He
It came out
called-
today on Facebook that July 19th to July 26th, Canal Fest at
When
Gretna.
did it happen that the city officials said this on WBEN?
It must have been after the council and the mayor met with them,
Last council meeting.
because Rick said if an official called WBEN and said it would cost $70,000. And I said to Rick, I have not seen any
Total whatsoever.
financials.
So anyway, so back to those provisions, like, is there events that will still occur? Or,
Well, they'd have to follow the special event permit.
And they
I
have
would
not
hope
reached out
they
to
would-
my office.
I would hope they would want to talk to us.
so you said vote, you said after a vote, they voted on it, or?
The Canal Fest Corporation voted, or their voting body.
They were trying to be
Is
sure.
there the one?
No,
guy
it's not a
that
private
said-
meeting, it's open to the public.
When
we-
was that?
It's usually the first Wednesday, second Wednesday.
Shadir, the gentleman that was sitting the closest to this over here, he was the deciding vote. It was like either 6-6, he voted 7, or it was 7-7, and he voted that he was the tiebreaker. Because he's the president.
Where's this in?
The Canal Fest committee.
Yeah,
They vote at Sweeney Hose.
No,
Their
I,
meetings are at Sweeney Hose.
oh, I know.
They are open to the public. I didn't know the outcome of the vote.
My understanding, I don't know for a fact.
Everybody's what?
But.
Well, one big thing is that we can park.
Well, it's huge.
Their problem.
Use part of the land.
It's their problem.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. They huge. It's not. So that's why I was thinking they would still post something on a canal. That's my presumption would be for boat races, parade.
They got a
They gotta
couple
pull a
of us.
permit,
Yeah.
they gotta have a parade, they do anything, they gotta pull a permit, and I don't wanna speak for them, but what would make sense, that, why would you have a parade going from Grove and Minerva
Mhm.
over the bridge and ending at Sweeney and Webster, when your festival's over at Gratwick?
Okay.
Makes no sense.
It makes no sense, I would love for them to still have the parade, but it's not gonna make any sense, cause it usually ends at the festival. The festival is miles down the road now.
I did see a comment from somebody who is related to somebody on the Canal Plus Corporation that said that the parade route would be close to Gratwick. I mean, I don't know,
Yeah.
but there's nothing official.
Go down word Oliver to Felton over the tracks and into the park. I don't care. It's not.
Yeah, it's not gonna have
concern.
anything to do with us,
It's not-
but I fielded a phone call, Hollow was one of them today that called and wanted to know, how we came to this decision. I had to explain it, we didn't come to any decision, this was the Canal Fest group that made a determination that they were not gonna ask for a permit from the city of Tonawanda, and they were gonna take it into North Tonawanda on their own. They pulled out of the city.
A lot of unknowns, so we can sit here for next.
Yeah, no, I just wondered like how that ball gets rolling with other types of things, but. It is what it is, it is what it is, they should change the mission statement. Alright, that's all.
Mayor,
Okay.
We were gonna have True Blue HR in, but it wasn't on the informal agenda, so I'm just hoping that you folks want to hear from them, and we'll make sure it's on the informal agenda for next time. They said they don't have a problem coming back. How we talked about it before. Dan Wilkins, who's associated with Old Man River, has been working on some sponsorship stuff. I just wondered what your appetite was for this. He was looking at the hub and like the walk bridge, and he's been in contact with Coke. I think he's dealt with the city before. I've never met him. I've talked to him on the phone. He said he worked for a big radio station. He's got connections with the Bills. He says he's co-owner of Old Man River with
He does not care.
promotions, whatever, but he's got some decent ideas, but I didn't know if this had come up before and you folks are like, absolutely not, we're not putting a Coke or Pepsi sign, or if it's something, if we're looking for revenues.
He wants to say, like,
He's reaching out in our benefit to ask people if they would want to sponsor like different things in the hub, because they're big into the bikes. So the hub was specific. So you make it Coca-Cola hub, and they'll give us $5,000 a year to do that.
so
And
they
put a
want
Coke-
naming rights of the hub. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. But I don't even want to be specific. All I'm asking here is not to agree to anything, but is that something you have a taste for? Or is that something that, no, it's commercializing and we don't want to go anywhere near it and there's no sense doing it? There was talk before of making the pavilion something. I don't think it ever materialized. I'm just trying to get a flavor of, if you folks think it's a horrible idea, I'm not going to lead this guy on and say, get me a sponsorship to bring back. If you're open to it, I'll have him pursue to see what kind of opportunities there are.
Well,
So-
you as the mayor would reach out to, I mean, he would give you the contact. He wouldn't negotiate on the city's behalf. So he would give you the contact. If he has a contact for Coke and Coke's interested in being a partner in the city and wants naming rights of the hub, you would meet with him and find out what he's willing to pay.
So it comes back to, do you folks have an appetite for that or don't you? If you do, I can do that. If you don't have an appetite for it, then I won't do it because we're wasting everyone's time.
Well, I'd love
I
to
don't-
know we heard that there was an opportunity last year for naming rights at the hub, but I mean, show us what the figure is.
I'll tell you, I have an appetite for it. I'll tell you, one of the conversations I had prior to my time on the council, but Dan Wilkins was the assistant chair or deputy chair, however you would word that, of the mayor's office of strategic initiatives and community engagement. I was the chair, he was the second chair, however you would word it. We were both appointed by John White. And one of the things that Dan Wilkins brought forward, all kinds of great ideas, but he had to go get these sponsors. Like one of the things he was selling was in the jail cells, you could put the bail bondsman advertisements on the ceiling of the jail. And you would lay in your jail cell and look up and see the bail bondsman advertisement. And you would sell that real estate space. There's different companies out there like 511 and Nike that will give you your police uniforms for free if you allow them to have the logo on it. It's similar to what Glock did, many years ago when Glock first infiltrated the firearms of the law enforcement. They gave Glocks to free. So Dan Wilkins had all kinds of great ideas that you're talking about, like things that he's brought up before. Whether or not he has the capacity to execute those agreements or get you in contact with those people is another question. If he does, I have an appetite for the commercialism aspect of it. I've said it before. We have the Paddock Golf Dome, the Paddock Spray Park. You have the the Western Riviera Theater, right? Is that what they are now?
Center.
The NOCO Pavilion over in Tonawanda. There's no reason, Dan Wilkins wanted to expand beyond the hub. It wasn't just the Victa I Associates hub. He was, like I said, bail bondsman in the jail cells and Nike on police and fire uniforms.
The splash pad was part of it.
No, yes, he wanted to do Frank's Plumbing. He wanted to put a huge logo on the splash pad we have now. They were going to put a huge Frank's Plumbing logo in the center of it and let Frank's Plumbing buy the naming rights to the splash pad to have advertising, because you see the water spraying everywhere and you see Frank's Plumbing. Those were the ideas they came forward with. Somehow, either him or John White, someone dropped the ball, and none of it ever came to being even discussed. I come onto the council. The only thing White ever brought forward was the Northtown hub. He wanted, right? Well, you were the councilman when he was in conversation to have Northtown buy the naming rights of the hub. He was supposedly in contracts that were going to put on an RFP of who would buy these naming rights. But if you can start bringing companies, or Dan Wilkins working with you can start bringing people to the table, and what are they willing to pay, or do they want to put on an RFP of how many different bail bondsman company want to put their jail advertisements in our jail cells? I'm all for it. Let's hear it. It's a stream of revenue.
We'd have final say on what they did, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I don't.
The mayor can't sign anything without our approval.
So one of the arguments we had with the mayor himself was, he wanted to change the resolution for naming rights, and it would have been that he could have done it in exchange for compensation. It would have stopped us from naming a grove after somebody, but it would have allowed him to enter into a contract to name the Northtown Hub. And I said, one of the arguments I have with that from our perspective as a council is, what if you wanted to name it the OnlyFans Hub? You know what I mean? Like, where do we get the say of saying no? Because we did it. It took the power away from the council and gave mayor the executive power to do it on behalf of compensation. Well, if you get a company in here that's not family oriented, not family friendly, something we don't want to be associated with, the mayor would have full authority to execute that solely based on compensation. So we prohibited that. So we still have the right as the council. So if the mayor here does want to enter into the naming rights of the hub, and he wants to sell those rights, he still has to bring it to the council, and we'd have to approve it. But to answer the mayor's question, I have an appetite for that. Yes, I do. And I would like to see you bring in some of those contracts and start offsetting some of the revenue stream coming in through naming rights. I would love to see that. Absolutely. Anybody else?
Great.
Don't they still sell the billboards that put over at the football clinic or the baseball fields?
The football clinic does, but the football clinic does it exclusively on the side of their building, and all their revenue goes to the football clinic. But yes, around the baseball diamonds, if ours, the splash pad, the pool, the baseball diamonds, we can sell advertising space. Absolutely. North Tonawanda, I don't know if it's a city park, but at the corner of Wheatfield in Twin City, kitty corner to that Mighty Taco, there's a baseball diamond on the corner there. You ever drive by that? That whole thing is advertisement.
That usually goes to the league, just like American Little League. That goes to the Little League.
I just wondered if they.
Yeah, right. It does, yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if you have that baseball diamond behind Kohler Pool, and if you hypothetically sold an advertisement into that baseball diamond, and even if it was $100 and you had 10 advertisements, you made $1,000. That would go back into the general fund or the Parks Department fund or something to offset some costs for our city. So there you go. Well, the cheerleader uniforms, they're supposed to be paying for those. That's a reimbursement, right? Yeah, they do fundraising for them.
About 50 you said a person.
So those ones they pay for directly. The fundraising, from my understanding, mainly pays for the competition that they go to.
And who pays for their uniforms?
We do, but we keep them.
But they pay the city a cost to join the team.
Yeah.
To join the team, and then they reuse the uniform, yes, and the uniform's paid for.
Ideally, we'd like to reuse the uniforms, if you take the whole 150 and not spending $90 on the uniform.
Correct.
If you take the 150
On the cheerleading, after, yeah, one-time cost, 3 years.
3 years, they seem to just discontinue whatever model, so this model, whatever style that we bought right here, right now, it's gonna last us 2 or 3 years, then the manufacturer's probably gonna discontinue.
Correct.
That we have to buy.
More uniforms,
The
yeah.
manufacturer plays with us, but we usually things spread over 2 or 3 years, like every other at a minimum. Try to stretch it a third if we can to keep them back. When they started fundraising, we did say that they would go buy their uniforms and keep them, but then they would be paying, the city was gonna pay for uniforms.
Correct.
Was where some of that fundraising for uniform costs kind of got brought up. Was that they wanted to get a different type of uniform, I guess, and they were gonna fundraise to pay for them, but. I think Nate ultimately kind of felt that that was more of, if somebody wanted to do that, we're going to see to do that. This is a rec cheer program.
Did you have more?
Kind of keep it,
One thing that's quick.
more costs and I guess more affordable for families than, when you get into full competition cheer.
Anything else, Mayor?
All right, I got one last thing. So Sean Rautenstraught was on the zoning board committee as a council rep. It's important now because we do have that grant and they're redoing the whole zoning thing. The bad part about it is the meetings, especially with the state, are always during the day. Do you folks want to appoint somebody to that? You're
So the
welcome
council
to,
President
but
appoints.
I'm just bringing it up to
there-
you. But
Are you able to make meetings during the day? As in,
I know we're gonna do.
okay, typically when do they meet?
it's sporadic. It's by the
Okay.
state. This is the grant.
Okay, are you interested?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll send you an email that I'll appoint Sue and Greg.
That's all I have.
One last question on Canal Fest. Not, yeah, one, very important part, not for profits, so. Did you gotta submit to join that, or?
What do you mean?
Who they pick for?
So, because the city has a seat at the table
Okay,
and it's appointed by the council. And the mayor has an appointment too, but we typically don't participate. They usually will send us what the minutes are. And that is what it is. But we do have a spot.
The nonprofits. have
It's
to
non-voting.
apply If it's a Canal Fest, if it's within the footprint, they apply and then they have to get, I don't know what percentage.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're talking non-for-profits or a
Yeah.
city? Oh,
No,
yes,
it's not.
yes, sorry. I thought you meant, does the council, does the city have? Yes, so there's an application.
Okay.
There's a cost to be a member. It's minimal, it's like $25 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they pay
But it's
that.
the normal, like they do every year, but now it'll be a grant, essentially. The same process.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
But if there's no footprint over here, the nonprofits can still set up.
We basically now have a week, July 19th to the 26th, where Canal Fest used to take place, that if anybody else wanted to file a permit in the city of Tonawanda to use that area, they could.
So I'm talking about, like, if they want me to go to grant.
I think it's an opportunity for us to capitalize on this. I mean, we have the hub, we can bring concerts, we
Get a
can
music
bring,
festival, yeah.
we could do something. It doesn't have to be 8 days.
It could be a 4-day weekend, could be either bookended weekend, it's dual opening now.
We can partner with the Historical Society of the Tonawandas to do some history. I don't know. I mean, we're all smart people. We have time to plan something.
Who do you see?
It's Gateway.
No. Typically, they're not Gateway.
They have concerts and all that, I don't know.
Yeah, they do the Wednesday concert series.
Right.
I mean, do you remember the days where they had the chili challenge and the pizza challenge and Taste of Tonawana's? I mean,
Got enough restaurants.
the market, I mean, I think this is an opportunity.
If you find someone like a non-for-profit that has a liquor license, which there is a few of them, even on Main Street, they can put up a beer tent. They can have music with a beer tent. The possibilities are limitless now because you don't have that week blocked out for Canal Fest. It's now, they have announced that they are not seeking that permit for that week. So that we have 2 weekends with a week in the middle. Like you can have 2 separate weekends. You could do the whole 9-day, whatever someone would want to do. With a music concerts, chili cook-offs, Tonawanda. You could have Taste of the Tonawandas the weekend before, and then have a rockin' music festival the weekend after. You have 2 weekends now wide open.
Do we still have the Merchants Association? Do they meet? I know that was driven by North Tonawanda, but I know there were some businesses that did participate.
Maybe they can get red, white, and blue beer Sunday, July. It's a green beer Sunday.
Well, I think if you had a beer tent and a couple bands on a Saturday night or a Sunday, Saturday and Sunday or something, I think people would.
Friday night, Saturday night live music. It would be huge. Here's the problem. From a city perspective, we can't do it. You would have to have someone else
We can
pull
partner.
that permit and do it.
We can partner with Gateway.
We can partner with.
Who's the president of Gateway now?
Mark.
Is it Mark?
Mark, that would be, just like he does that.
Put him to work.
Beer thing.
Just like green beer Sunday, you would do red, white, and blue beer Sunday. Or weekend. Something. It's wide open now. You have a whole hub, area, and week in July on a canal, waterfront with boats.
But once again, manpower, I think we should try to keep it like a long weekend or a weekend or something, because if you do too much, you don't have the people to work it. And then
Well, you know
it's
who would be a great person to partner with it, there's at least have the conversation, would be the Elks Lodge, because they last year tried to come forward with music and bike night every Thursday. And the administration at the time felt that it would be better every other Thursday. And now we've seen that it's good. At least I'm going to support it for every Thursday and see that take off. But now if they try to come in and say, hey, in addition to every Thursday, that weekend that Canal Fest gave up, we'll take Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and do some kind of music fest weekend. You know, maybe we can get them to try to take the ball and run with it.
maybe they can work together.
But well, usually when you see the not-for-profit take the ball and run with it on that, they want the beer tent and the food sales.
Yeah.
They don't want to share, and we see that with the car show, with the American Legion and the BVA, they share, and there's a split down here at the Labor Day car show. And then the split, there's two arguments with the split, besides the fact of financing is, well, if my organization brought in 50 volunteers and your organization brought in 20, but we're splitting 50-50, but we did most of the work, you know what I'm talking about. So when you see someone, if you approach someone like the Elks and say, hey, would you like to take this weekend and do something with it? Because Canal Fest pulled out, and they say yes, they're going to want exclusive rights to it because of financing.
I mean, it's gotta be a group big enough to pay for him.
It's got to be someone who's able, yes, to pull that off.
Yep.
But they've done it, and we saw it last year on Thursdays with that bike night. They had bands, they had a stage, they had decent for free bands. They had some free decent bands. They had a stage set up, they had music set up, and they had a draw from the motorcycles. And that was just every other Thursday. Now imagine if they knew that we were going to allow them to pull a permit in March of this year and say, hey, you got until the third week of July. You're taking Canal Fest weekend. Do something with it. Hopefully someone's watching this informal and they realize that the weekend of Canal Fest is wide open in the city of Tonawanda.
Say it loud.
Okay, that's all. I just wanted to check on that, and if there's opportunities over at Fairbanks. A lot of good ideas.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Oh,
Your meeting. Sunday. That's why I was.
Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, so, you know, I was at my house.
Is everybody,
So I stop it. Okay, I'm good for both days. So if you guys want to pick 24 or 31, I checked my calendar. I'm pretty full.
All right, so is everybody available the 24th?
I like the 31st because 24th we're coming right after the 17th, so I know it's the 31st right before the 7th, but I think the 31st gives us that gap, 3rd, the 17th, 31st, every other whole month of March.
I just like
I'm-
to be here on the 7th. That's.
I'm not
April
available.
7th?
It's the Easter week.
I'm not available the 31st.
Well, it doesn't have to be a Tuesday. It could be a Thursday, right?
Can be any day, it could be a Saturday morning at,
How's the 26th or April 2nd?
I'm not available the 2nd.
Okay, so what about the 26th?
There's something wrong with the 24th.
She said
I'm-
she's not
I'm available the 24th.
Yeah, 24th.
You are available the 21st.
I'm not available the 31st.
Oh, okay, yeah, 24th looks good.
Okay, 24th at 6 PM.
24th at 6 PM.
Got it.
Budget hearing.
Adam, while you're still here, I had sent you an email. We have not received an expenditure and revenue report.
So January, I gotta get January reconciled out, February, or January's by end of the week. if not
Okay.
early next week. And then last year, we're still working to get finalized with the audit, I can get you an audit for the whole year, but I can't, obviously can't get you audited 25 yet.
Okay, that works. And then moving forward, can we get them every month?
Yeah, like I said, usually January is always the slowest month to get reconciled out because I got so much year end to do in January, all January, was doing year end, so for a couple weeks, February, gotta catch up January. That out, but I would ask, at least 2 or 3 weeks after month end, before you expect that, or just so that I can make sure everything's tied out. Well, progress. Standard in the industry, to see, month end for 2 weeks, so. after,
You got nothing.
All right,
Wish.
March 24th at 6 PM. Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Voisin. All those in favor?
Aye.
You have a good night.
Well, you can work all day March 1st, right?
Is that for the quarterly?
That's being very